Hey guys, welcome back to Octavia's Palace, where all things that I love. So this was my day trip to DC, and here are some views from the bus. And I'll tell you about that in a moment. But this is Union Station. I decided to just take a day trip to go to the National Museum of African American History and Culture. And here's some views here of just Union Station. I am in Union Station in Washington, D.C. This is my first time being in here because usually I'm in a car. So I'm on my way to get a Metro card so that I can get the train over to where the museum is. And I'll keep you updated on my day trip to DC. I like this building. It's really nice. And then there's hardly nobody here, I think, because it's Sunday. So while I'm just showing you some views, this was the area where the woman said to go to get a Metro card. And in the next few clips, you'll see what it looks like. It's pretty much like any other major city where they have a, self-serve machine so that you can, purchase and add money onto it. So this is the Union Station. I have a little time here, but I'm gonna get my Metro card. And these are the escalators. I was thinking about walking, but I wanted to get a Metro card so I could see what their public transportation is like. So once I got down the escalators, this is the area at Union Station to get to the subway. So this was the machine. I actually talked to a man that worked there. It was really nice. He told me I need to get off. I think it was like the red line to get to the Smithsonian. And then this is just some views underground. It was actually really clean and, it was really nice down there. People seem to be pretty polite, So I just wanted to show some views of what it looks like. And then here's me, just taking some more pictures So here is where I made it to the Smithsonian for the National Museum of African American Culture. And these are some beautiful views just of the actual museum. So when you go to DC to visit this museum, this is what it's going to look like. This so happened to be the most beautiful day. It was so sunny. The weather was bright. I really was enjoying my view here, and I'll get more into detail. So I am here at the museum. This is the exhibit that's all the way downstairs. So what you're about to see is just some pictures and clips that I have of my first trip to this museum, so that you can get an idea what to expect when you go. And of course, I'm not going to show it all, but I want to give you a good idea so that you can watch from home.
Clashed with British troops launching the Revolutionary War. The conflict touched everyone.
Here's me taking a selfie, but it was really starting to get emotional from the very beginning. If you can tell in my eyes, and it's just nothing like it. These are all the 609 enslaved people that Thomas Jefferson owned. Amazing. It's crazy, the contradictions. And of course they got English Christian names. Nanny. Look at Hemmings. Freda Hemmings Bowles.
Communities and neighborhoods facing racism, violence, and economic hardship. Free people of color turned inward. In cities, small towns, and maroon settlements, African Americans established autonomous communities, foundations for freedom. After the revolution, the free black population grew exponentially. Whether by gradual abolition, escape, military service, or birth, blacks found paths to freedom. In 1790, there were almost 60,000 free African Americans in the United States. By 1860, the population had grown to almost 500,000. Many African American men, women, and children not only envisioned freedom and equality, they made it a reality. Free blacks formed an infrastructure that helped them to survive. At the center was the church, which guided all aspects of community life. It was an incubator for important institutions that strengthened and enriched the community. Free black leaders organized fraternal orders, anti-slavery societies, and national conventions to uplift all blacks.
I am so in awe being at the National Museum of African American History. Look at this cotton fields. It makes you feel like you're in it. I really like the way they did this. The way they made it look like you feel like you're there, like you're actually walking through. And this woman, you know, surviving. It's just amazing, but it's so much to take in, so I would have to come back. It's like you want to stop because it's so much information. You get overwhelmed and tired and anxious and hungry and upset and then prideful because look what we all endured as a people, and we're still standing. Reconstruction is one of my favorite topics because how we have been failed or what we were supposed to get. Reconstruction is something that people don't realize. Wow, look at this. They did a good job with this museum. Emancipation Day Parade 1905. So that's emancipation from enslavement. Wow, look at that. This is, I'm on the sea level. I'm just showing a little quick tour. Hey guys, excuse my hair. Today is my one-day trip to DC, and I'm here at the National African American Museum of History, and I'm just a lot of emotions. I didn't even take my pins out of my hair because I was rushing and got my backpack. I'm going to brunch after this, so I got a good hour before I need to, well, hour and a half before I need to leave. She said about 2 hours, but I feel like it could take about 4 really. But I'll keep showing some content. Booker T. Washington, Ida B. Wells, Dorothy Height. She started the National Colored Women's, the National Council of Colored, I'm sorry, National Council of Negro Women's Council. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. I was a part of it. We all know Malcolm X. He looks familiar. Who is this? Archbishop Lacavos. They really did a good job with this museum. It's so much. Like, you really need a week. You have to improve life, not just for those who have the most skills and those who know how to manipulate the system, but also for and with those who often have so much to give but never get the opportunity. Hello? Somebody must show that the Afro-American race is more sinned against than sinning. And it seems to have fallen upon me to do so. Ida B. Wells. Booker T. Washington. At the bottom of education, at the bottom of politics, even at the bottom of religion itself, there must be, for our race, economic independence. Malcolm X. We declare our right on this earth to be human, to be a human being, to be respected as human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary. I know that's right. Racism is still with us. It is up to us to prepare our children for what they have to meet and hopefully shall overcome. We still enduring this till this day, Miss Rosa Parks. Archbishop Lacavos. Our church has never hesitated to fight when it felt it must for the rights of mankind, and many of our churchmen have been in the forefront of these battles time and again. And it says, share your story. The reflections, please. Record your thoughts about African American history and culture and contribute your voice to the museum by answering a series of key questions. One of my favorite topics is Reconstruction era, which a lot of people don't understand Reconstruction, but it was right after the Emancipation Proclamation. Pretty much it's like after you were free, what were you to do? And were you given fair opportunity? Not really. When Reconstruction came to an end in 1877, the majority of African Americans lived in the South. As white Southerners regained control of state and local governments, they passed new laws to keep blacks and whites segregated and to condemn African Americans to an inferior, restricted second-class citizenship. To resist the impact of these laws, African Americans created communities and institutions to sustain themselves and look for ways to protest their treatment. And this is really important, Reconstruction era. That's when segregation came, right after Reconstruction era.
The most famous African American in the United States urged people to be patient. He felt small steps would lead to equality eventually.
Our greatest danger is that in the great leap from slavery to freedom, we may overlook the fact that the masses of us are to live by the productions of our hands. No race can prosper till it learns that there is as much dignity.
Most menial and dangerous jobs and faced discrimination in housing. After World War I, black soldiers returned home with high expectations that their sacrifices would be rewarded with greater fairness and opportunity. Instead, they faced fierce competition for jobs and housing. When resentment boiled over, race riots erupted in cities like this.
There's so much to take in. I'm going up a trail car, or rail car, I mean. This is where Pullman porters would work. I had a great-grandfather who was a Pullman porter. And This is how it looks. Trying to get my little video.
How about you? Yeah, me too. You can go the extra way. My daughter's been at home.
Tickets, please. Tickets, ma'am. Thank you kindly. Ladies and gentlemen, tickets.
That's the way the doors are.
Tickets. Tickets now.
So see how much the white section and the color section have much smaller bathrooms. These are typical Pullman porters. Mostly black. White's only men's bathroom, smoking lounge is much bigger. White's only oversized bins. Interesting, right? And then I'll show you, look at that King Cotton. Woo! And this is the colored. Look how much smaller. It's way smaller.
That I have nothing to be afraid of, that there can be such tremendous grace and resilience, and power, that is my duty to fight for my freedom, that I come from a legacy of greatness, that is my duty to live after my history.
The sweeter the juice. This is someone out there, 2 podcasts, and nobody else there.
Amongst the poor chain of men, I found some of my own nation, which in a small degree gave ease to my mind. The church, governments, and companies invested in the business of slavery. The sale of enslaved Africans and the profits made from their labor developed European nations and New World colonies. Men such as Henry Lawrence, a partner in one of the largest slave trading houses in colonial North America, transformed their profits into position and power. Lawrence sold thousands of enslaved Africans in the 1750s. He gained influence as one of the wealthiest colonists and later became a prominent member of the Continental Congress. The wealth generated by slavery was enormous for nations as well.
So I finally took the pins out of my hair, but you know, I let it fall. I'm going to brunch soon, so I'm got to head to the gift shop here at the National Museum of African American History. But it's been amazing. I'm gonna try to go upstairs really quick, and I know I'm gonna have to make a second trip or a third trip to come see everything. Such an amazing time coming to DC now on my way to brunch. On my way to brunchy brunch. It's so beautiful, such a beautiful day.